this video demonstration, I'm going to show you how to use the beautiful new Amaryllis flowers from the John Next Door Christmas 2022 collection and the holly sprays to make a version, I'll move this one out, of this card here. I'm going to show you how we get this beautiful colouring in there and how we put it all together. So the dies I'm going to be using in this video, and this contains two, are the holly spray dies and the Amaryllis die plate, again from the Christmas 2022 John Next Door collection. So we're going to start with the flowers, and I've got a piece of card here, and this is in Crafts 2 linen card in Christmas red, and I've cut this to 5 3/4 by 4 1/8. Effectively this is an A6 piece of card. And I want to take this down, but I want to make sure that I'm not covering any of the open gaps as we're going to ink through those. So we place that die down. If you want to make this easier, pop it onto a piece of magnetic sheet. And I'm using the new Craft Artist Quick Dry ink pads. And this, I believe, is Cardinal. It is beautiful Christmas Cardinal red. And using a finger dauber, I'm just going to colour through the back of the die using on the ink, and it gives you that beautiful, when this comes through, it will give you a beautiful two-tone look to your flowers. Again, you could do this on white and tip the edges and get a completely different look. Allows you to get that beautiful sort of spray of colour you can get in a real Amaryllis. So we're going to run that through and die cut it. So I will bring in my plates, but be aware you have ink on the back of this die. So if we just pop our plate on and run it through, we'll transfer the ink onto the back of the plate. So the best thing to do is to simply take a piece of scrap card and place it down on top. Place your plate on and run that through. I'm running this through off air on my Kaleido machine, which is an A4 machine from Crafts 2, and it's a Craft Artist then. Very confused sometimes. So it will fit through any of your A5 or smaller die cutting machines, or larger. So when you take this off, you'll see I get this beautiful impression of the flower with the ink, so it takes the additional ink off. So that in itself would make a beautiful background for a card. And we'll take our flowers out and peel our card off, and then we'll just pop each flower out, and in the die you get 8 pieces, which is enough to do you 4 flowers, 2 of each size. But if you can see, it's one of those that you need to almost see in real life. Got that beautiful shading in there of the dark shading. So to put these flowers together, all we simply do, I'm going to take the 2 largest. So I'll start just showing you on the 2 largest. I'm going to take a poker tool or something circular and just pull the petal over it and fold it up to give me that beautiful curl. So pull the petal over, curl it, petal over. So it's basically, I'm pulling the paper, see the difference? I'm pulling the paper between my thumb and the metal edge, and I'm folding it up. It's the fold up that makes a difference. If you see the difference in the petal, so fold it up into the center, and again fold it into the center, and when you put 2 the same size together, you get the perfect Amaryllis flower. So we want to add into here some stamens, and the stamens I've made, there will be a different video at a later stage showing you these, so you can use any stamen, but I've made these by dipping them into a new Craft Artist glitter, a crystal glitter, as you can see here. So these have just gone into Craft Artist glue. I've then dipped it into glitter and sprayed it yellow using the Craft Artist Sunshine, I think it's called Sunshine, Sunlight, oops, mica sprays. So once we've got that stuck down, I've just glued it down with some glue glaze for quick speed. I'm just going to pop my poker tool in the middle, press it down, and then I'm going to push that through to give me a nice gap. You see that I've got that hole in the center and everything's still adhered. So I take 3 of the stamen that I've made, put them at different heights, take one and wrap around. So I'm simply wrapping that to give me one piece. I'm then going to trim that off and just pop it through the hole in the center, giving me the beautiful stamen. Now to affix this, you can use hot glue, or you can use, I'm using Pinflair glue gel, just that little bit. It takes longer to dry, but if you don't want to use hot glue, I know a lot of people are careful of it, then you don't have to. Take a little piece off, I'm using a cocktail stick, and just pop it around the outside, and that will secure it. Takes a little longer to dry, but that will secure it. I'll do one more to show you. So I've got one of the medium flowers. Here are my stamen going through into there. Take a little bit of my glue gel from a cocktail stick, or you would just pipe hot glue on. If you're wanting to make them quickly, use hot glue. But I know so many people have asked me for alternatives. And we would just simply leave those to dry. Once they're dry, they will come out like this, completely sealed. We can move them, we can decorate them in any way you want to. So all we have to do is chop off the extra wire on the back, just so that we've got, there we go, so that they're beautifully flat, just like that. So there are our flowers done. So next we're going to do our holly sprays. Very simple. I've got a piece here of Fern Crafts 2 linen card, and you'll notice with the holly sprays they're designed so you get a large and a small and a left and a right. So again, you can make beautiful arrangements with these. You can tie them together. There's so many different ways that you can work with these. I'm just going to pop those down. I would tape that and run that through my die cutting machine, but I have one here, a set that I've already cut. So I'll just take one of the large ones, and all I'm going to do is add a little bit, some red berries onto this. So I'm using, this could be your Nouveau drops, this could be your Craft Artist glue mixed with your shimmer spray. If you haven't seen that technique yet, you might need to watch the show. So we're just going to take, and you'll notice on the die, I've placed circles for the berries to go on. It makes that a lot easier because it spreads out to the space that we've got. So there we go. So we just pop those little berries on, and again we leave those to dry. Depending on what you use, they're usually about half an hour to sort of 45 minutes. So we'll pop that one to one side to dry off, and I'm going to bring in a set that I've already done and I've left to dry. Sometimes it might be worth having a session of doing this. You sort of have one big session of doing lots of them, and they're great to use up because they're smaller dies as well. They're great to use up scrap pieces of card in your greens and things. So it's worth sitting there and going through and thinking, right, okay, I'm going to use all my scraps up and cut lots and lots of the holly sprays. So we'll pop those to one side, and I'm going to bring in a card I've made. So I've made a card here, just using red and some of the Christmas green and the center from the bauble background die set. So we've just got the piece on there. And what I'm going to use to glue these on again is more of the Pinflair glue gel, so that I can get a beautiful height and go across this space. So I'm just going to take a cocktail stick and I'm going to lay them out. So do I want them to follow the pattern or the circle, which they can, which I think is what I want to do, or do I want to alternate them in different directions? There are so many options you can do with this. It's so easy. And because the glue gel is clear, it makes it quite easy to stick on. So I'm just putting some on random pieces of holly using a cocktail stick. I've only recently converted to using this and absolutely love it. And there we go. So I think we're going to follow that pattern. There we go. See, by using the glue gel, I can pose it just up there. So I'm going to do the same with the holly on the second piece. Just placing a few pieces on just to secure it. And again, as I said, we're going to cross those over so that we beautifully follow around. I want that holly to stand up, so let's add a little bit of glue gel into there. And when this dries clear, you would obviously be a little bit neater, but it's covered by the holly. So we're just going to take our flowers, and again, I'm going to use a little bit of glue gel to stick these on. And this is great for when you've got 3D projects. So there we go. Because we want these to stay nice and 3D. We'll tuck them in. There's obviously a little bit of a gap there, so this is where I could use one of the smaller pieces. So we'll use one of the smaller pieces, and I'll just add again a little bit more glue gel onto there. And I'm going to tuck that in, just wipe off the excess of where I'm not using it, and take my third flower and we'll pop that into there. So I've got a beautiful little collection of Amaryllis going around the holly on there. And again, if I wanted to, I could take the other flower and put it at the bottom just to balance it out, or leave it quite plain. I think I'm going to put the other one at the bottom. So again, just a little bit more of the glue gel. I do like to balance things. And if I want the focus to be there, I would leave it as it is. If I want the focus to be on the sentiment, I would add another piece in, which is just what I'm going to do. So let's put that on. I'll just trim the excess off. We'll add some more glue gel onto there. Perfect. And there we have our finished project of our beautiful Amaryllis in their holly sprays.